All right, it's been a couple of days. I got basically the basics done. Both of these structures I got them in. It took a little bit of work to actually get this in. Like I said, materials really wasn't the problem. Problem was something else I'll talk about in a minute. But first thing down was the actual framework, the wooden framework that I have around these 8 chunks. So that took a little bit of a minute um, because you can't just schematic cannon it in. You know what I'm saying? So what I did is too big. That's the reason why. You know what I'm saying? The area of circumference is entirely too large for the schematic cannon to print it properly. So what I ended up doing was using Schematica, the Schematica mod, and just importing basically a holographic blueprint. You know what I'm saying? What you do with the Schematica mod, and then I just printed it up. I mean, manually. You know what I'm saying? Use the auto print functionality and printed it manually. So that's how I got the framework in. The next major issue was actually this. This right here wasn't a problem. I was able to print all of this up with the schematic parent cannon, no issue. Even with the modded blocks, didn't even have an issue. And then when I went to go do this became the issue. For whatever reason, the schematic wasn't loading properly. You know what I'm saying? And at first, I thought it was the GT blocks, the GT multi-form blocks that I have up here at the top. So what I did was I removed the controllers right here. This is the controller for the block that tells this all these blocks around that this is a multi-block. So I just removed the controller and I tried to copy the schematic again. It didn't work again. So I came in, I removed the output buses and the input buses from each one of the forms and tried to print it up again. It still didn't work. And the last resort was to move the entire multi-block itself. So I removed all 15 of the uh, large form multi-blocks, and it still didn't work. So the next thing that I thought of that might cause an issue was the item collectors in the bottom, down where the squid farm is at. That's these blocks right here that I'm pointing at with the green little nodes on them. So I removed those, try to make a schematic again. Again, it didn't function, and that's when I end up running across the best way. Well, just about my favorite mod now, outside of the schematic cannon from Create, which is this right here, the copy paste gadget from building tools. So the copy paste gadget can recognize the entire structure with all of the modded blocks, print everything in, no problem, no issue. So that was my last resort. I tried that and it worked fine. You know what I'm saying? So all the materials that I had within the inventory and just printing out everything. You know what I'm saying? So that worked out. So now I have it in. You know everything's done. You know what I'm saying? This is the template manager. I had to use this to actually load the template from the copy paste gadget. You know what I'm saying? Which is basically the blueprint and whatever. And I got it in. You know what I'm saying? Everything's good. And then next is the big part. So I said this is just the basics right here. Even though everything's in, none of this stuff is actually configured. So none of my pipes are configured. I have to go back in and configure all the pipes, and that means as well as getting all the item cards that I need for the laser nodes, because you could click into these, and it's almost like a dispenser in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta tell it what direction to pull or extract from. So I need to print up basically an item card for every single node that I have in the entire system, in this one and that one. So over here you can see, you know, right here already is 32 item cards right here, and then there's another 32 over here. Well, there's another 16 over there, and then I have a few that's dotted in and out of the system. So I'm looking at maybe over 100 item cards that I gotta print out, and they don't stack. So that's a little mission by itself. Um, I gotta put the flowers in there. I have all the flowers. You know what I'm saying? Ended up making the concrete. That wasn't an issue. Um, that's really it. but it's not. The configuration part is gonna take a little bit of a minute. I have to set all the super chest. Why is there a mob in the phone? And I don't even know where he came from. He came from somewhere. And which brings me to the other issue. Um, well, was an issue. What I'm saying? I have to find out where he particularly came from. I built these farms to be completely 100% mod proof, but I'm doing it without a light level mod. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, you could just press F7 in the older versions of MC and see a light level. Nowadays, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You have to install a mod or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just now installed a mod for that because when I first initially printed all of this, um, when I left and came back, it was full of mobs in here, full of mobs in there, and I went around with a bunch of these illumination panels or whatever and put them in wherever I found it. And the mod that I installed is a mod called Lighty. You know what I'm saying? It gives you a couple of different couple different modes. So the carpet mode is from Carpet Mod. You know what I'm saying? And it allows you to visualize every block, like right here, where a mob can spawn. If it's green, a mob can't spawn there. If it's orange, a mob can spawn there, but only if it's nighttime. And if it's red, a mob can spawn there anytime. You know what I'm saying? So down here, they're saying that mobs can spawn on this, but this is the entity block. Mobs can't spawn on that. But even still, it'll be a benefit to throw a light block down there somewhere. You can also switch it to numbers, so it tells you the light level, the sky axis level, and the light level. You know what I'm saying? It tells you if it's possible, and it also gives you the green and the orange and everything else. So right here, I don't really need to put a light block, but I'm gonna put one there anyway. So putting a light block there destroys all of that. You know what I'm saying? It tells you how much light is there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not seeing any lower numbers than that. Maybe over here they could spawn, but it's still not possible. I think 7 and down or whatever they need to actually spawn. And you see where all of these are bottom slabs. That's why there's no numbers on them, so they can't spawn down here. So over here, everything printed in except for the water wheels. The large water wheels that I had here didn't print in properly. You know what I'm saying? But that's a non-issue. You know what I'm saying? And just go get some more water wheels or whatever. And checking everything else, I don't see any other real issues as far as spawning is concerned. And this is basically this project almost done. This is the first half of it. So the next part of it is actually wiring everything up, getting all the cards, wiring everything up. Also have to get water buckets for all the dispensers because there's no water buckets in it. So I have to do a little bit of math and count how many water buckets I actually need for the dispensers. And the wiring and up process, like usually people just go in and just wire it how they had it before. What I like to do is I wire it and make sure it works first. You know what I'm saying? And then go to the next step. You know what I'm saying? Like section by section. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm wiring up these pipes right here, so these pipes right here are supposed to pull from they're supposed to pull from the super chest and then send it into the node. You know what I'm saying? I still haven't checked to see if it actually works with sending it into the node, but I have to have the machine running. So I'm gonna put the lava in, waterlog the drills, or whatever, have that running. You know what I'm saying? So all of this starts to fill up and all of that, and then configure this. You know what I'm saying? So this pipe right here is basically is set to insert. Once you see like a rim around it, like this, a rim like that, then it's set to export. So and then it also needs one of these in an advanced pipe upgrade in order to pull a stack of items, 64 items at a time. By default, I think this pulls like 1 to like 4 items at a time, which is extremely slow. So I have to throw one of those in there, and then I know it's good. And then when I see the items actually get pulled out of the pipe and then sent into the node, I know it's good. You know what I'm saying? I know it's good and it actually works. The same thing with the nodes. The nodes have to be connected to all the connectors. You know what I'm saying? These are like pipes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That transport the items. So once I connect it down and I know the items are going where it needs to go, then I know it's good. And I have to do that for the entire build basically. And there's only one oversight that I made in doing this. Um, Oversight that I made with the entire design. And now that I'm looking at it, it shouldn't be an oversight actually. Is that maybe it's different because of the version, but in the older versions of MC or whatever, uh, the ocean level was at level 60. So according to the information, if you look on the left hand side where it says XYZ, that tells me my coordinates in the world. So I'm at minus 271 on the X axis and 64 on the Y. You know what I'm saying? Minus 64 on the Z. 64 is the Y axis. 64 is my height in the world. So this should actually spawn. Up here shouldn't spawn any squid, but down here should spawn squid. It should start right here and go down. But I won't know that until I have this actually running. The best way I can test this is to go back to my original storage area, and there's a 2x2 of water source blocks that I have that's basically falling all the way down into the void. Wherever the squid starts spawning is where the squid start spawning in here. You know what I'm saying? So that's an oversight in this whole entire design. That will mean that if this doesn't work properly the way it should be working, which I haven't tested yet, then I will have to come in here. And speaking of which, I gotta break back in here and put all the water buckets in here as well. Then I will have to basically remove the bottom half of this, and then let the water fall all the way down to where the squid start actually spawning, and then I have to build the collection chamber, collection floor in the bottom of that. So I have to. The only thing that makes it irritating is all of these or I could just use the building gadget. Now that I think about it, I could basically just cut and paste it. Just cut this entire area from right here. Cause the building gadget is extremely good for that. I can cut the entire wishing name right here, and then drop it down to where the squid actually are forming, and then paste it there. The only issue that I will have is that there's no angel blocks. Angel blocks basically allows you to place a block in mid-air, and there's no angel block that I've seen in this pack. So the only way that I'm thinking of, matter of fact, let me take a look, because I don't believe there's any angel blocks or anything like that. Nah. It might be, it might not be. I have a good knowledge of the mods. I took a look at the mod list a long time ago. I added a few quality of life mods to the pack. I didn't see any angel blocks or anything even remotely close to that. So the only other way to get all the way to the bottom is to build off of the platform underneath and build all the way down to the void layer. You know what I'm saying? Or just jump into the void, take all my armor off, take all my tools off, throw it in the chest, jump into the void, and die basically at the bottom of the world. And because it's a grave mod, it's gonna generate a grave down there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll come back, respawn back, put all my armor on, my jet boots and everything else, go all the way down there to where my grave is at, and then build off of my grave. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm able to actually place everything down there. And the only one unfortunate thing about the building gadgets mod is that in order for you to place, which I found out with this, in order for you to place the actual schematic in the world, you need an anchor block. You know what I'm saying? You can't just place it the way you would with a regular schematic from Schematica or a schematic from the Create mod. I had to actually come and place this block right here in order to anchor the blueprint of this, the holographic blueprint of this entire build against this block right here, so I can get it actually enter the world properly. You know what I'm saying? And then I could just move it around with the buttons that it gives you to configure its placement before you place it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the only thing I will have to do, but I could still use the grave block for that to actually anchor it, or just just build a little portion of the platform, like just the corners or something like that, so I can know exactly where it's gonna go, and delete that and anchor it over that. So that's where it's at. I'm glad I got all of this actually done. This took a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? The materials really wasn't that bad. There's a couple of things that I had to craft up. I had to craft up a few more volts, and I had to get some more advanced laser connectors. Like these are easy to make, but they're not easy to make at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Cost a little bit of resources though. Um, yeah, that's really it. That's really it. I'm gonna just wait for the nighttime again to see if any more mobs actually spawn. Which I believe they shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? According to what I was looking at. I also have this mode right here that gives you the traditional X's. This is what it used to be in 1.7.10 and all of that. You see it, green X's and red X's and all that. And that's it.